we talk about dreaming with God, at the very beginning of the dream is usually sleep. But we're talking about waking now, waking and delighting in God. And maybe this is a season in your life where it's time to wake up and to really acknowledge the dreams that God has put in your heart. And maybe He is asking you to wake and delight in Him, and He will give you the desires of your heart. When we wake and delight in Him, we start to see that in all of His ways, He's kind to us. And everything that happens to us through our day is actually His kindness. Even when we don't view it as what we would say culturally as kind, it's God's kindness to us. He's teaching us and leading us and wielding us into a new creation in everything that we walk through. And everything that we do and we see in the day is part of His kindness towards us. He sees the desires of our hearts. He put them there. The dreams that we have for ourselves are usually God's dreams that He created for us and put in our hearts. It's not news to God what your dreams are. He created those dreams for you. Some of us find it really easy to wake up and spring out of bed at 5 a.m. without even sipping a cup of coffee and have an awesome quiet time with God. But some of us, me included, find it much more difficult to function before 10 a.m. And I have come to realize that it is okay that I don't function at 5 in the morning. And actually, God is not that bothered about when I wake, just that I do wake and that I spend the time with Him. So what does it mean to delight in God? If you look it up on Google, it will tell you that delight means to please someone greatly or to find great pleasure in something. And it just blew my mind when I read that God could find great pleasure in me, in my before coffee state at 10 in the morning or whenever I wake, and take delight in that. It says in the Bible so many times over that the Lord delights in us, and it really struck me when I was looking into this, that the maker of the universe could find delight in little old me, who is really not very good at waking up and spending time with Him, with my 3 kids running around crazy, and I haven't had enough coffee, and life gets in the way. And it just really hit me, the words that He delights in me, takes great pleasure in me, were really impacting. I've learned that it is not just the fact that I exist that delights Him, but it's the fact that I choose to hang out with Him that delights Him. It brings joy to His heart that I set aside time in my day to spend time with Him, because He's constantly waiting for me to do that. That's what He wants me to do with my life, is to be in communion with Him. We all go through seasons in our life when we need more encouragement than at other times. Maybe we're anxious or stressed, we feel pressured and pulled in different directions. What I learned in a recent season in my own life, where I was feeling very shaken by circumstances going on in my life, was that my choosing to delight in Him totally changed my perspective, and it invited His perspective into mine. And it was a totally transforming experience, and I started noticing that God was actually present in all of those shakings. Even when I couldn't see Him, even when I couldn't feel Him, I was receiving these, I started calling them little postcards from heaven, because I was choosing to look through His eyes at the perspective of my life. And I started seeing that He was actually there in everything. He was sending me messages and verses and encouragements and scriptures from friends out of the blue that I probably would not have noticed if I hadn't have chosen to everyday delight in Him. And so really what I learned through this season was, when I dare to delight in Him, I see everything differently, and He is more present in my day than I ever expected Him to be.